started eating at the material. Ron and June Golding have been married for decades. Their love story was written overseas while both were serving in the Royal Canadian Air Force. Ron began his career in 1952 during the Korean War, and June a couple of years later.
So we wanted excitement, I guess. We were young, and there was a bunch of young fellows all living in a boarding house in St. John's there, and I worked in a lumber yard and I quit it. I didn't like it, so I was just waiting to get a job, and they were recruiting at the time because the Air Force military was big. We had about 100,000 people in the Air Force back then, back in the early 50s. So one day we all decided to go up to the recruiting center. And we wanted to go aircrew, but we were too young. We had to get our parents' consent, and so we didn't go aircrew. We went ground crew, and we didn't go to Korea. But the Korean War was over in '53. But after our training, I went to electronics. Then we went to St. Hubert, Quebec, and that's where they were sending Sabres. The Sabres were. Canada was quite involved in the Korean War. There we had Sabres flying with the Americans, and we had air support, and we had the Navy down there too, 2 or 3 ships, and I think there were about 20,000 soldiers that was in Korea.
Well, I was working for a Department of Highways, and it was a very small job, you know, but I just decided one day I was going to join the Air Force, and I didn't even know there was going to be lots of men or anything. I never thought about that. I just joined. I joined in Toronto, and that was in 1955, and I was in for 4 years. So I went to St. John's and Aylmer and St. Hubert and Lachine, and then I went overseas. But I loved the Air Force. It was a good outfit. We enjoyed it, yeah.
Finding love was certainly not their priority at the time, but sometimes it appears in the most unexpected places. In the Goldings' case, it was at a dance overseas.
Well, it was in the rec center, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
in the rec center.
In Metz, France,
Metz,
there, yeah.
I don't know, we just started going out together. That was in July, wasn't it?
Yeah, but actually I met her the first day I went overseas.
Oh, yeah.
I got it the first day I arrived in France. We partied all weekend after coming from Paris there, and we arrived. So on Monday morning, we all went down to the snack bar, and they were in the snack bar, and 2 or 3 of us, so we met then. And an old buddy of mine from Goose Bay, from the Air Force, he was taking June out at the time. So then, about a month later, then we met at the dance again. I don't know, I guess we had something in common at the time there. That we were away from Canada, away from home, and we wanted companionship, I guess. So there was a lot of this going on, and couples got together and had their little spill for a few months, and then you say, well, why don't we hitch up and get married?
We were married overseas, and we had no family there because they could not come. My family lived on a farm in Ontario, and his family lived in Newfoundland, and so of course they couldn't come. So we got married on our own, and yeah. And then we went to Holland for our honeymoon. So that was nice.
Although they couldn't be with their families back home, Ron says they certainly weren't alone.
Yeah, well, we were always together, like in the mess hall where we ate there. We all sort of associated together, Canadians stayed together at the time, naturally on the base. And a lot of our friends, they were getting married too. There was a lot of weddings over there. And everybody, quite a few people met and got married over there and had their children, some of them there. Yeah, because we were there for 4 years. You got along with people. You had to get along with people there because you lived close together. And so when we came back from overseas now, we were actually lived closer together overseas than we did when we came back here. We found it a little bit awkward when we came back here making friends again. So, you know, but then again, we're very sociable people, so we make friends wherever we go anyway. It's not too hard to make friends, you know. Yeah, and the kids, our daughter, Pam, she's very sociable there. She hasn't met a stranger, and neither have I met a stranger.
Ron and June would go on to have 2 children, their son born in Germany and daughter in Quebec. After 4 years in the Air Force, June had to leave once her son was born, which was the policy at the time. Ron, on the other hand, had a 25-year career. And despite having to spend time apart throughout those years, both agreed that being in the same career field allowed for a mutual understanding about what it takes to be an Army family.
Yes, she understood if I had to go north, that was it. You know, she had to stay home.
You went down to Camp Borden.
Oh yeah, and then
And we were alone then, my kids and I.
Oh yeah, a lot of times you have to leave the wife and the family alone. You know.
Do you regret any of that at all?
No, probably do it all over again. You know. Yeah.
A good experience.
A good experience, meet good people, and all that. And I'll tell you one thing. You grow up fast when you join the military there, if you're 17, 18 years old. Doesn't take long to grow up there, yeah.
So after 58 years of marriage, it's obvious to see that Ron and June still carry the spark that began at a dance all those years ago.
Geez, you're a good-looking dame.
Friendly. Good looking.
Good looking girl.
Yeah.